Let me just click a button and here we are on YouTube. Good morning, everyone. Nigeria and the world. It is Business Express, the Tech Friday edition, right here on A Smooth Breakfast. I'm Sope Martins, and today I have got Bisaya Durajay and Victor Ekwealor Jr. in with me for the next few minutes. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning, Shopware. I'm doing great. Nice to be here again.
Wonderful to have
Good
you
morning.
on. Hey,
Good morning,
Fisaya.
Shopware. Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Lagos.
Good morning, Fisaya.
All right, so we've got a lot to talk about. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, is make sure that you can join the conversation from wherever you are watching or listening from, okay? So if you're listening, come on over. Use Twitter or use WhatsApp and join the conversation. Up on Twitter, the hashtag is BusinessExpress981. On WhatsApp, you can send WhatsApp messages to 0809 440 981. And if you are watching us up on the YouTube feed, youtube.com/smooth981 FM Lagos, then you can just jump on the live chat and tell us what you have to say. All right, so there are quite a few things that have been going on in the world of tech. Let's start off with something that I've already just talked about during the news, and that is the fact that Twitter decided that they were going to close up their office and reopen on Monday. I'm guessing because a huge number of employees walked out. Like, what's going on there? Victor, let me come to you first.
So I mean, we've been following. I mean, everybody is a bit aware of the whole debacle, that was going on with Elon Musk trying to get people to stay on after there has been a lot of like drastic changes, with Elon Musk trying to be a hard boss. First of all, he came in, canceled the work from home order, and like nobody's going to work from home. From today, we're going to go 40 hours weekly. Everybody must be in the office. That's a hard shift for a company that's people are used to working from home, right? There's a hybrid work structure. And then there's just a lot of like very new draconian policies. And of course, like there's the fact that he came in and fired like a bunch of people, half of the workforce. So most of these things are
rehire some, but it's okay.
Yes, I heard you, right? Most of these things have continued for a while, but like recently there was just more of this stuff. And I heard that like there was an ultimatum where he sent out a manifesto of sorts and says, oh, there's Twitter 2.0 and these are the hard rules we're going to have to follow. And of course, some people said no. And these people saying no means like a lot of them are walking out, and he's afraid that, employee loyalty is being tested. And when employee loyalty is being tested, it's like in Silicon Valley, there is the tendency for people to go to the press, there's the tendency for people to potentially sabotage operations. And that's one of the things he's afraid of, So it's like, until we're sure that, everybody is on board with this new Twitter, we're locking everybody out. Very interesting approach, very funny approach, but Musk is a very interesting person. So
it's a very correct approach, because I know I would think you are thinking one way on Elon Musk and then you're thinking another. So I can't wait to get your thoughts on this.
Okay, so I mean, my thoughts are very simple, right? I actually disagree with Victor, because I don't think that telling employees to come back to work is draconian. I don't think that asking for 40 hours a week is draconian, because that's what we used to do.
But hold on though, because there was a point at which Twitter said you guys can work from home forever, and yes, there's a new boss in town, but the policies, I mean, does it take time for policies to shift, or am I mistaken?
Again, because I think that some of these things, right, all these things changed after COVID. So we've been doing something for 50 years before. When I started work in investment banking, I would take my clothes, I would take 5 shirts to work on Monday morning, because I'm not sure I'm going back home that night. These are the things that we do.
Slavery also used to exist. I don't understand.
Hold on, right? Because so that we set the record straight, right?
Okay.
We are used to going to office and coming back home every day. That is what we used to do, right?
We used to walk before we got cars.
No, but COVID happened, right? That forced people to work from home. Working from home was adapting to COVID. It wasn't the rule, it was an exception, right? Now we're saying that we're going back to the rule. That's what happened. And then people were like, no, we're used to the exception. We're not going back. So let's get set. That is actually what is happening. Not that, because it's not asking for something new, because it's asking for what we used to do. So there's nothing new in this thing. And I know in Nigeria, for instance, many people have gone back to work. IB people have gone back to work. Some people never even left work. Working from offices. So there's really nothing special in what Musk is asking for. That has to be clear, right? Because that is what they normally do before, right? So it's not like we went to invent some new rule from outer space. No, it was, let's go back to what we used to do. So people think that, yes, okay, I'm not comfortable with that. So it means that if Musk come back to work and you don't want to go back, it means that you are free to as well leave. So it's not like it's wrong for you to leave. No, it's okay. I don't want to go back to work. That's fine. So I can as well leave. But remember we discussed this thing about maybe earlier in the year when as even at Tesla, he had asked people to return back to work. And some people quit because they're like, no, I'm not going to do that. Right. So there's nothing special about resuming to work. People are still doing it today. If you go back, this is 6:30, if you check Terminal Bridge right now, the bridge is blocked because people are going to work. That is what happens. Right? Working from home doesn't mean that it is the rule. If my employer said that I come back to work tomorrow, I won't complain about it because that's what this is an exception. It is not the rule.
Nah, man, it was an exception that was then embraced as part of the new rule. You can't tell me it wasn't over a Twitter. They say you can work from home forever. Did that not mean that they accepted it as a new kind of rule?
Shopper, you are working from the office.
Yes, because I have to. I literally have to. If I could do my radio job on my phone, why wouldn't I?
So the question about productivity, and we need to be clear about these things, right? I enjoy working from home, no doubt, right? Because hey, I can, in the afternoon, I can sleep off, right? I do that many times. I just sleep. Oh, okay, I don't have anything. I just go to
some of us work when we're working from home.
Sometimes, no, it's not that I'm not working, right? But I'm doing some work. I'm tired. My table's just near my bed. I'll just take a quick nap, then come back to work, right? And then ensure that I don't have to do it. But when Musk feels that no, I want, complete. When you're in the office, in fact, I remember some of my first contract I signed, there was something that suggested that I can't do any other thing outside of my firm's time. And that's how contracts used to work. Like, these people have paid for my time. It's not the time to be going for fuel. It's not the time to be taking a meeting and going to pick your child on the road. No, it's the time that someone has paid for. This is what. But now, because it's not convenient for us, really. Because again,
we got to move on.
I think people should get in on this, right? Because I don't think that it is wrong for your employer to ask you to come back to work. No, it is not. That has to be clear. But I think people are spoiled, especially tech people. Really, I work in tech, right? So and I know what my life was in finance when I was in investment banking, right? Versus what my life is now. I think tech people are particularly spoiled. And but again, we'll figure it out, right?
Fisaya, I'm going to move on because we have got messages coming in. So I'll read this one. D from Alausa, who says, Fisaya is not as tech as I thought, Sha. Businesses have to adapt to modern ways of living. Now, speaking about modern ways, no, Fisaya, speaking about modern ways of living, what I'm going to do now is move on to other topics because we got other topics to talk about, Fisaya. You're still talking, but I've turned you off because that's what I can do, seeing as I'm here personally at work. Sorry, man. So we're going to talk about Google launching the new search, shopping, and maps features because we got to talk about that. And real quick, let me take this message in from Ekanem James, who says, Fisaya, such a core change shouldn't be drastic and sudden. Now let's talk about Google's new search, shopping, and maps features. Fisaya, want to get in on that?
No.
Okay, good. Victor, I'll come to you.
So this is most of these things are a push towards e-commerce when you think about it, right? And everybody's working to become an everything app of sorts, right? And it's kind of very interesting because all of this is a push for users. So now and with the way the global economy is trending, there is a tendency for users. So apps and services are trying to retain their users at all costs. And it's like, you are already on this service. What else can we upsell you? What else can we give you? You know, you already use maps, you already use search and all that kind of thing. We want to keep you here, right? So for instance, I've always found it interesting that, so Google evolved from being just lines of text when you do search, right? In the early 2000s, when you search on Google, you just find lines of text, to including pictures in search, videos, and other directions. But now Google is even taking it a step further. And this is what like a lot of tech services do, where they say, what else can we give you? How else can we keep you? Like, you're on Google, don't leave Google, you know? You want to buy food. So that's one of the new features in this thing. Like, you want food, we will show you an exact food in an exact restaurant. Like, don't go to any food app, you know? So
like, I'm just wondering about this whole lens feature. You take a picture of the food and then it's just like, find near me.
Yes, it's AI is amazing. Google has always had amazing features, you know, that makes life easier. But like, from a business perspective, I just know that most of it is like customer retention. They're just pushing to keep you longer in the service, right? It's all a retention play. It's all an e-commerce play. It's all a play to have an everything service, right? Where you don't have to leave Google and go to, I'm trying to think about the name of like food discovery platforms, for instance, right? That's the play from a business perspective. But as a user, it makes sense, makes my life easier. You know, Google is something I use, Google is something everybody uses. So it's like, might as well get everything we want from this one service.
Is it making your life a bit too easy? And then also, I feel like we might start living in a world that's called Googlepolis sooner or later.
So that's the thing. There are two ways to think about it, right? Like, there is the user perspective and there's the business perspective. From the user perspective, it's like, yes, it makes my life easier. And I don't know about making life too easier, because like, that's literally why these things exist, to make your life too easy. You know, we can debate the philosophical aspect of that, but like, that's why they exist, you know. But from a business perspective, like, this is a push towards a monopoly. You know, it's a push towards more profitability, towards like just, you know, edging out other competitors, other products that you normally use, and saying, oh, this is Google, you know, use Google, you know, for everything. Let Google be your everything product. Very interesting. You know, we can argue, like I said, the philosophical and moral aspect of it, and say, does this make sense? This is the push towards the monopoly, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, as a user, I don't care. I'm fine with it. As long as it works, great.
All right, we've come to the end of the show, but I need to put some of these messages in. So up on YouTube, Wale Olamiju has come in and saying, yo, let's not outsource our brain. Let us be objective. So Fisayo is simply being objective. Adekunle Richard saying, Fisayo's points are valid. COVID was an exception. And up on WhatsApp, Victor Shilon says, does Fisayo sit on his desk in the office from 8 to 5? Doesn't he go to the bath? Doesn't he go to gist with his colleagues? Doesn't he go to the bathroom? Doesn't he gist with his colleagues? Doesn't he go out for 1 hour lunch break? In as much as it's not factory work, we can do it from home, says Victor Shilon. I will come to the end of the show. If you want to direct any more of your messages, direct them up on social media. Fisayo, where can we find you?
Aremo Fisayo.
Thank you, sir.
I can just Google me.
Or Google him. And, you know, I'll find out everything about him, including the food he eats, because that's where we're going sooner or later. Victor, what about you?
I'm Victor Ekwealor across all social media platforms.
Okay, fantastic. Gentlemen, it's been an interesting one. Fisayo, this is why I had to be here in person, so I can press buttons and talk and direct the conversation. Thank you very much, sir. But that's only because I have to do it.
Done it over Zoom. You can done it over Zoom, by the way, but it's what it is.
Don't worry. We'll do this thing over Zoom just once. I don't have to do everything else in person in the studio. Thank you very much. We're done. Go find Fisayo up on Twitter. Bye.